Hey, Kadima community, how are you? It's Alan. Just talking to you about how arbitrary, opaque, and glacially slow the recruiting process can be. Real example for me. Stripe was my top target company that I was focusing on since April. I interviewed with them for one round of it doesn't even matter what the titles were. They were like head of premium service, head of strat ops, head of onboarding and identity. 3 different roles. The first role, I interviewed well. I got in there through a referral, went through, I believe, 4 rounds. I was ultimately rejected and told very nicely over a 16-minute conversation with a recruiter that they liked me, but I wasn't a good fit. They didn't. The hiring manager felt that my direct approach may not land well with all relationships within Stripe. That's fine. I'm a direct person. I took that feedback, and later I've incorporated that so that when I say that what my areas for development are, it's not that I'm direct per se, but that I practice radical candor. I care personally for people. I challenge them directly. However, I need to focus on challenging directly because that doesn't always land well with other individuals, and I need to be cognizant of that. So that was actually good feedback. I've incorporated that in my interview process. Then the second round, I went 4 rounds of interviews. They liked me. They decided to go with another candidate. They did not give me a lot of feedback, but they said that another role could be made open shortly. They stayed in contact with me over the next month, and they said that they really like me. They need strong leaders in the organization. They are not going to have me go through 4 rounds of interviews, just 2. So I met with the hiring manager again, and we discussed the role. Then, as a next step, I met with her boss. Had a really good conversation with him. I believe I answered all his questions well and adequately and addressed his needs. Then 3 days later, they rejected me again, and in a nice way, and they said they'd like to keep in touch with me. But this is just an example of, even though you think that things are going well, the interview process is a long time. That process started in April. Now we're in November. You see the leaves falling behind me. Also, you don't understand what's going on within the walls of the company that you are interviewing with. Therefore, I highly, highly, highly recommend having multiple balls in the air, lots of different opportunities at play. You're not sure which piece of shit that you toss at that wall will stick. So you need a lot of different opportunities there. And also, you should not get discouraged when you get rejected. It's just a process. I know that I was competing with ultimately probably hundreds of people, if not thousands of people to start. And then at the end, with 2 to 3 people who Stripe was considering, I put my best foot forward, didn't get it, shaking it off, moving on. And fortunately for me, I have decided to start Kadima, so it was actually, I don't know if I was going to take the role anyway. I would have had to think about that if I did get the role. But just an indicator of 7 months of conversations with this courting process. We actually talked about comp. I found out about this Stripe 1-year RSU vesting process, which is actually quite interesting. I'll talk about it at some point. And but yeah, didn't get it. Shaking it off, moving on. And yeah, there are other fish in the sea for me to catch. But hope you learned something from my story, my failure. I don't actually call it a failure because I learned and I grew and I improved. So thanks a lot, Kadima. Bye.